The Watts family tragedy is one of the most shocking and heartbreaking criminal cases in recent American history. It centers on the life and brutal murder of Shanann Watts and her two daughters, Bella and Celeste, at the hands of Chris Watts, Shanann's husband. The case captivated the nation, revealing a facade of a perfect family that crumbled into horror, exposing themes of domestic violence, deception, and the complexities of human relationships. Shanann Watts was a 34-year-old woman who had seemingly everything. She was married to Chris Watts, a man she believed she loved, and they had two beautiful daughters, Bella, who was 4 years old, and Celeste, affectionately known as Cece, who was just 3. Shanann was a dedicated mother, deeply invested in her family and their well-being. She worked as a sales representative for a health and wellness company, and was known for her vibrant personality and strong social media presence. Through her posts, Shanann painted a picture of a happy and loving family life, sharing milestones and moments that highlighted their joys. However, beneath this exterior, problems loomed. Chris Watts, born in 1985, was initially perceived as a devoted husband and father. He worked as an operator for Anadarko Petroleum, and his demeanor was typically described as calm and reserved. However, in the months leading up to the tragedy, Chris's behavior changed, indicating deeper issues. He became increasingly distant from Shanann, who began to sense a rift in their relationship. Shanann's attempts to mend the growing gap were met with Chris's evasiveness, leaving her feeling isolated and anxious. The couple had their ups and downs, but the birth of their third child, a son named Nico, was intended to be a new beginning. Shanann was thrilled about the pregnancy, hoping it would strengthen their bond, but Chris's reactions were lukewarm at best. As Shanann focused on preparing for the arrival of Nico, Chris's infidelity became a significant factor in the unraveling of their marriage. He had begun an affair with a coworker named Nicole Kessinger, who he met in June 2018. This relationship became increasingly intense, with Chris spending more time away from his family. The secrecy and lies began to mount, and Shanann remained unaware of the full extent of Chris's betrayal. Friends later recounted Shanann's confusion and pain during this period, noting how she often expressed her worries about their relationship and her desire to work through their issues. On the night of August 12, 2018, Shanann returned home from a work trip, excited to see her family. However, the tension in the household was palpable. Chris's disinterest was stark, and Shanann sensed something was amiss. Their interactions were strained, and an argument ensued over the state of their marriage. Shanann, feeling emotionally drained and desperate, reached out to her friends for support, confiding in them about her struggles. They encouraged her to seek help and consider therapy, which she was open to exploring. The next day, on August 13, 2018, Shanann and the girls would never be seen alive again. Early that morning, Chris Watts committed an unthinkable act. Reports suggest that during a confrontation in the early hours, he killed Shanann in their bedroom. The exact details remain unclear, but the aftermath revealed that he strangled her in a fit of rage. In a chilling turn of events, Chris then turned his attention to his daughters. In a desperate attempt to cover his tracks and erase his crime, he smothered Bella and Celeste, placing their lifeless bodies in the backseat of his truck. In the hours following the murders, Chris maintained a facade of normalcy, reporting Shanann and the girls missing to the police. He displayed an unsettling calmness as he gave interviews, pleading for their safe return. His demeanor was unsettlingly detached, leading many to question his sincerity. The community rallied together in search efforts, while the media quickly picked up the story, showcasing the Watts family's plight. Chris's appearances were a juxtaposition of a desperate husband and father, with the grim reality of what had occurred just hours before. As investigators delved deeper into the case, inconsistencies in Chris's story began to emerge. His alibi fell apart under scrutiny, and his behavior raised suspicion among authorities. The police soon learned about the affair with Nicole Kessinger, adding another layer of complexity to the case. As the investigation progressed, Chris's demeanor shifted from anxious husband to a cold, calculating individual, raising alarms about his involvement. The turning point in the case came when Chris was confronted with evidence collected by the police, including surveillance footage and text messages. He was eventually arrested on August 15, 2018. During interrogation, Chris initially denied any wrongdoing, but as the evidence mounted, He broke down and confessed to the murders. His confession was chilling. He described the events in a dispassionate tone, detailing how he killed Shanann and subsequently his daughters. His rationale for the heinous acts was centered around his desire to start anew with Nicole Kessinger, showcasing a disturbing lack of empathy for the lives he had taken. The case garnered immense media attention, with many questioning how a seemingly normal family could descend into such tragedy. The Watts family tragedy exposed the insidious nature of domestic violence and the facade many maintain in public. Friends and family members were left grappling with shock and disbelief as they attempted to reconcile the loving husband and father they knew with the monster revealed in the aftermath of the murders. Shanann's family, devastated by the loss, used their voice to raise awareness about domestic violence, advocating for support systems for those in similar situations. On November 19, 2018, Chris Watts pleaded guilty to all charges, including first-degree murder, in a deal that spared him the death penalty. He was subsequently sentenced to 5 life terms in prison without the possibility of parole. In a chilling moment during his sentencing, Chris expressed remorse, but his statements lacked the emotional depth that many expected. He failed to address the gravity of his actions, instead presenting a narrative that seemed self-serving. The Watts family tragedy is not just a story of a crime. It is a narrative that delves into the darkest corners of human behavior and the fragility of familial bonds. It reflects the need for vigilance in recognizing the signs of domestic abuse and the importance of supporting those in vulnerable situations. The ripples of this tragedy extend far beyond the lives of Shanann and her daughters, impacting countless individuals who continue to grapple with the ramifications of domestic violence in society. As discussions surrounding mental health and domestic violence become more prevalent, the memory of the Watts family serves as a poignant reminder of the need for compassion, understanding, and proactive support in our communities. Thank you for listening to another episode of Loopholery, your go-to podcast channel for quick, witty, and insightful takes on random topics, all in 8 minutes or less. Whether we're diving into quirky facts, exploring weird loopholes, or just pondering life's strange questions, we keep it short, fun, and engaging. Perfect for curious minds on the go. Like or subscribe, and get your fix of unpredictable knowledge bites.